walked in the room just as he said, how can you screw up the difference between a foreskin and a foreskin? And, well, we looked at Matt, and it just got really awkward.
Man.
And that's how it happened.
You know,
that's the most true story I have told to date, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Did you hear about the pirate that had the steering wheel attached to his nuts?
You just killed the punchline.
I know, I did. Yeah, that's what happens when you live. You screw up jokes. Oh, I'm totally starting this new night out on the right foot. How you doing, everybody? We are Figure Action. We're coming at you live once again, but on our new night, Thursday nights. This is where you'll be catching us from now on. It frees up our Friday nights. It gets you to us one day sooner, and we hope it works for the best. Joining me tonight
for those of you listening at home, Zero's girlfriend asked for him to come stay home on Friday nights, so that's why.
Oh boy, thanks, Dave. Thank you. Now I'm gonna get an earful.
Zero.
Joining me tonight is the usual cast of characters. Starting off down the panel, we'll go with True Star Screamer. How are you doing tonight, man?
It's Thursday. My entire week's been disrupted. I'm doing great.
Well, I mean, this works out. I mean, here is in bed. You don't have to worry about, the staying up late on Friday, but,
I know. Jokes aside, it's great to be here, guys. It's great to be here.
I won't deny Friday is still my favorite night of the week, but Thursdays just got a whole hell of a lot better.
That's true.
Next on the panel, we've got Partsformer. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be back in full show capacity because it feels like I've hardly had a weekend to get my thoughts together. I've still got here next to me on my desk is an entire bag of crap that I have yet to go through from TFCon, from Disney. It's just a bunch of shit that's piling up, and will continue to stay there until I feel like messing with it.
So if the wife heard that, would she just wrap it and be like, Christmas came early?
That's not a bad. I should just suggest that. That was because I've already bought it, so no money out of my bank account.
There you go. Next on the line is Mr. Joe Crab. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Besides for this winter-geddon that we have going on today.
Yeah, I mean you're a bit further up north. How many inches did you get of
I think
snow?
we were supposed to get one. No. We were supposed to get one. We ended up getting close to 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got about 1.5 here.
So it rained in North Carolina.
I left work right after lunch because it was getting bad. I worked south of Baltimore, and then I live about 25 minutes north of Baltimore. I can tell you that once I got north of the city, the conditions went to shit really fast, and it was awful. Once I got up that far, I'm glad I left when I did. I wish I'd left earlier, but I'm able to remote in, so that's what I did the rest of the day.
Very nice. Next on the panel is Mr. TMan 978, or should I say Mr. TMan close to 10,000.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
Very cool.
I'm just tired and sleepy.
That's not just a Friday night thing. That's every night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Creating content takes a lot out of a man, guys.
Yes.
I mean, you just jumped up. How many subs this week? I know it was close to 200 in the past 24 hours.
In the past 28 days, because I'm looking at my Studio Creator app, I've gained over 1,000 subscribers.
Damn.
It's been for the past 3 days, it's been over 100 a day.
I mean, that was kind of I remember when you had that first Spider-Man video, or the Homecoming video. You hit you jumped 20,000?
Not you're going too high.
I'm at 20,000. 2,000.
I think it was that one. It was 4,000.
Yeah, it was a lot.
And this one, I don't know. I hope it keeps going. If that
Send
means
a couple
more
hundred to my Instagram, will you?
I'll try. Maybe I'll see if I can link you in the click the video part.
Awesome.
Right on.
But I'm thinking, I don't think it's just Spider-Man. I think YouTube randomly picked people to advertise. So that video they probably just shot to the top of some list somewhere without me knowing about it.
I know what it is.
Whatever happened, whatever.
You've been working through that Partsformer haul all week. For 2 weeks.
Which I'm still not finished. I still have to do Perfect Cell.
Is he open? He's open at least, right?
Yeah.
And is he in good repair? He's in good condition. I mean, at least before you
manhandle it. It's good. I popped the arms off, but then I realized, oh yeah, that's supposed to happen.
Well,
it's a figure art, not an X-Trans bot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was watching
How you doing, Zero?
I am doing pretty good. I am. I won't lie. It's been a stressful week. Anybody that follows me on social media knows I'm in the process of buying a house. So I'm getting close. The inspections tomorrow, provided they don't cancel because of the weather. They better not cancel. It's sleet. But yeah, I've been going through that process, doing the loan officer. I got the acceptance on the bid just as I found out, just as I started on call this week. So, well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. And now I'm just trying to wrap my head around getting everything paid for, starting the furnishing process. Yeah, right. No, I mean, getting everything paid for is not that big of a deal. Like, it's not that much to close. I think I'm going through the Maryland mortgage program, which you go in at a higher rate, but you get more back, and so I only have to put like $2,500 down to close. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so all this behind me was going to be changing a lot in the next couple of months because I think the target date is to get us in there right before Christmas. So I will probably be like one of those guys that just has the empty room behind him for a while. And yeah, but
well, word of advice with that inspection: make sure he goes up on the roof if it is sleeting and all. If he has to cancel and have him come back out, because you want to make sure he actually goes up on the roof.
I'm actually insisting on that because my buddy that I go to game night for, he's actually right around the corner, so I'll be able to walk to his house. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. Although he's a gamer, but he's also a bro. So whenever I go over there, he's like all about the drinking. So now I can actually drink and not have to drive, and I know that's gonna be hell.
All I can say is this: for those of us who are homeowners, I believe I speak for all of us when it comes to the underwriting process. We're gonna laugh at you because you don't know hell until you've gone through an underwriter.
Oh God.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
You do not understand. All right, I need these 5 documents. Excellent. Here's the 5 documents. All right, well, here's the other 6 I asked for. What other 6?
I'm doing that right now. And then it's we need your check for $571. I'm like, check for $571? Nope. Yeah. I thought that was part of the closing cost.
That's not the underwriting.
Oh, boy. All right.
We need your pay stubs for the last 3 years. What do you mean? You need it when? 10 minutes? But you told me, do you want your house?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, at least I told my boss, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to ask for some time off. I've got personal days that are not personal days. I've got floating holidays I'm gonna lose anyway. So, yeah. As for the roof, my buddy was like, yeah, the house is built in '98, but he was like, yeah, make sure you get the roof checked because we had to get ours replaced. And so, yeah. And as much as I hear the whole process is fun with air quotes, I am looking forward to having a proper display space. I'm looking forward to having my own space. I'm looking forward to having folks over. I'm looking forward to doing a collection video rather than going around a cramped room being like, here's my orgy of Transformers in a detolf. They'll actually have breathing room on Billy shelves, and I'll be able to display the other stuff they have in totes and bins. And
are you moving everything in a pod?
Catching a breather from the orgy.
No, I'm not moving everything in a pod. I am in the process of packing everything up because I'm only moving about a mile and a half away.
That's nice.
So
Rats. I was planning the heist.
no.
Intercept the pod.
Yeah.
TMan's 4.
He'd be asleep though. I would have to worry.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right. You do know where I live now. Shit.
That would make a great episode. We can film T-Man jumping from one vehicle to the pod while it's going down the highway, with him cutting in the side of it with a torch.
I can just see him like sitting in an Uber or something outside my house, going steal, zero stuff. I should really steal.
He'll have a live broadcast of T-Man moment.
Oh God!
In progress.
And then he'll have like the chill piano music going.
Are you crazy? I mean, like the ultimate unboxing of him cutting the lock on that pod.
Jesus Christ! Now I'm glad I'm not going with the pod. Now I'm glad I'm basically going to be moving stuff out in Home Depot boxes and totes. And actually, you know what? Half of my stuff I'm not even going to bother putting back in the box. I'm going to put it in freezer bags and bubble wrap inside the freezer bags and write exactly what it is, because the X-Transbot shit, I don't feel like transforming it into vehicle modes.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know how many survive.
Yeah.
Are you gonna dismantle the details?
I have to. I'm not going to dismantle them all the way. My buddy Chris, you guys check him out on the Gastelcast. He's on the Syndicate. He's a big pop collector, but he gifted me a Detolf last year, and he lives about It was basically he was getting out of his Detolfs and moving to Billy's. And so this one right here, he was just like, "Hey, do you want it?" And I was like, "Sure." And so he just brought it over in the bed of a truck with like towels wrapped around it. And I guess he had like, the whole Ivan Drago outlook on the Detolf was like, if it dies, it dies. That's the way I'm going to look at it. Yeah.
Creed comes out this month.
Creed and Wreck-It Ralph 2.
My
more
daughter.
Yeah, you're
My daughter had her first true nerd moment with the Wreck-It Ralph trailer, when it showed all the Disney princesses in the one scene.
Hey, Dave, it's a movie you can actually go to.
He's not looking forward to it, I bet.
It's reviewing really well, if that's any consolation.
I like Disney princesses. I would volunteer.
That answers a lot of questions about you. That answers a whole lot of questions. No, actually, we had a very defining moment this week, Kira and I, with after she got her homework done, started her out on Lord of the Rings.
Nice.
We made it right up to Rivendell before losing interest, which, I'll be honest, worked for me. Good stopping point.
Yeah, that first one was tough for me to get through.
Yeah, I fell asleep in the movie theater.
You should try reading that book.
Yeah, the books are good, but this, I don't know, man. Like this, the pacing is weird for me. I've only read through the series once, but yeah,
it's
on my bucket list to do.
Don't rush.
If you have the Fellowship of the Rings, the entire what was the first 15 minutes of the movie was like 200 pages.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
I'm gonna take a page out of T-Man's book, no pun intended. But when people told me that they have the songs written out, I'm like, nah, I don't have time for this. Well, moving right along. Did anybody get anything cool this week?
No.
Oh, well, you were the first one I was going to ask, so now you're excluded.
Oh, do me next. Do me.
All right, we'll skip parts. We'll go right to Joe.
Nothing.
Oh. Well, Matt, you said you had stuff from Disney.
Well, I think I've said most of it. I got a couple of little things this week. I picked up.
You got one that I'm excited about.
Do I?
Yeah.
I mean, this is all little stuff. I got one of them is I got one of these guys.
Nice.
And I ended up with, for anybody listening, it's the what the hell is this series?
Action 66.
Action 66 Mega Man, the blind boxes that you can get in Barnes and Noble, and I ended up with a Cutsman.
Nice.
And I am happy with that. I was looking at the box and I saw all the rest of them that they had, and I thought I wanted either a Vile or a Cutman, and I was happy with that. I guess this other Mega Man on here is Mega Man EXE. Is that this other one?
Star Force.
Star Force. Okay, well he can go to hell, but the rest I was okay with. Let me see. And then yesterday, right before I went in, or right after I came out of the gym, I stopped in my GameStop real quick, and I didn't even know that Series 2 was out, but the Disney Afternoon dudes were out, and I got me a Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo Duck!
You got to bring that on Saturday.
Okay, I will. His articulation is it's kind of shit, but it's, I mean, it's a duck balanced on a tire, so I don't know what I was expecting from it, but
I think the tire took the budget.
Yeah, the tire can spin quite freely. It's actually really, really well done. He's got a waist swivel. He's got a ball joint on the head.
Nice.
And he's got looks like I don't know, articulation there in the arms, up, down, side to side. And he doesn't have an elbow bend, but he does have rotation at an angle, so you can get the arm straight by cheating it, or you can get it curved in by cheating it the other way. And that's it.
For 10 figure action points, what did he say to get the armor on him?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Blather and Blather Skype.
Ding, ding,
I did
ding.
not remember that.
I did.
I changed my name to that in the chat for a while.
Yeah.
And then one little thing that I got from TFCon that I forgot to talk about was just a little one-off thing that was pretty cool, is that I got a pin from one of the vendors that made these. It's a Rodimus star. For anybody that reads the IDW, it's the little Rodimus gives out. It's pretty funny. Rodimus gives out these little handmade pendants that of his face when he thinks people do a good job. So I got one of those, and I must have done a pretty good job. But I like it. That's it. That's all I got.
I should give out Starscreamer stars.
There you go. Now, I'm curious, Jordan, which one were you excited about?
Gizmo Duck.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So when I was a kid, they made Darkwing Duck toys, and I was always bummed that there was no Gizmo Duck, because he was the kind of the crossover character from DuckTales and Darkwing Duck, other than Launchpad.
Launchpad, yeah.
And I thought, at some point they'd have to make Gizmo Duck, and they never did. God, now I had the name of his the character on the tip of my tongue. The mouse with like the outlet on his chest.
Electra.
Somebody in the chat, quick, help us, because I can't remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's in the opening credits.
Megavolt.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah. I had him when I was a kid, and that was a really cool toy because he had like the spark gimmick on his back. I wonder who made those.
That's stuff they can't do now, can they? Can they have spark?
Yeah, they can't, because it's like it's flint, if I remember correctly.
And Hasbro's not going to let another figure of Flint being made.
Oh God.
Waka waka waka.
Rip G.I. Joe.
Apparently.
Yeah, I gotta remember who made those in the 90s.
I don't know. I know it can't. He had a motorcycle too, right? You could get the motorcycle as well to go with the Darkwing. But the Darkwing looked kind of odd, if I remember correctly. Like,
because his hat had a gimmick where it like popped up and spun, and that
all you toy companies that listen to this show, I mean, all of you, listen, gimmicks kill toys. Okay? Take that shit and throw it out. We don't want gimmicks. We want articulation and paint. Screw the gimmicks.
I don't remember those toys at all.
I don't know. I think they might have been after your. Well, I mean.
Yeah, I was a teenager at that point.
That's no excuse.
It ain't.
T-Man was slaying the ladies.
Truth?
Oh shit! Playmates made them. That's why they were so gimmick centric.
Mm.
So they were made at the time of the Ninja Turtles. Looking through, I had a bunch of these. Like I had the let's see, yeah, I know I had Darkwing and Launchpad, and I had the Thunderquack. Man.
Thunderquacks are on
Did they ever make a Negaduck?
Yeah, they did. I had him too. So it was like that was like my small collection.
I don't know if they need to relaunch or reboot Darkwing, but they need to incorporate it more than they already have in the new DuckTales.
Yeah,
because he has been in the new DuckTales. Spoilers.
Oh,
he has.
Cool.
Yeah. And they did it really cool. So I don't know if anybody wants to know. I can tell you, but I'll
yeah. Well, how'd they do it? Because actually, that would.
It was I think it was beginning of one of the more recent episodes where 2 or 3 of the boys were watching an episode of Darkwing Duck. So he was actually a character on TV, and it was new material. It was the opening of the episode where they had, some plot going on where the boys were watching it, and they had the original voice cast, the ones that are still alive. So
Jim Cummings was the voice of Darkwing.
Yep, and you could probably find a clip on YouTube. But it's real quick. There's not much to it, but it was nice to see that they haven't forgotten. So he's still out there somewhere.
That was really a well done show for what it was.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of moving, keep things moving along. TMan 978, what did you get this week? Because I know you got a few cool things.
I picked up a Hot Wheels Spider-Man car. I got the 3-pack, the Mario World of Nintendo Mario and Bowser 3-pack with the bomb in it. Did the review on that. They are exciting.
I gotta say, like after watching your review, not to spoil it, I remember you busting my balls because I want the Figuarts Bowser, and you were like, "But the World of Nintendo Bowser's on clearance, and he's like $15." And after seeing your review, I have no regrets with going with the Figuarts Bowser.
Yeah, it's not all that fun. It's good. It's a good weapon. If somebody broke in the house, you could beat somebody to death with it. Because the spikes are hard. I don't even see how that could be illegal for kids. But outside of that, I found some Transformers Siege figures. Not the cool ones that everybody's already reviewing. I found I found a whole case of the Battle Masters, but I only picked up the 3 fire drives for myself and 2 other people. And I got 2 of the Micromaster sets, the race car, the race car team, and the airstrike team.
Yeah, if you're
Patrol, that's what they patrol. Airstrike Patrol and Race Car Patrol. Editing the Race Car Patrol review right now. Well, after this show is over, I can finish editing.
You can admit it. You're doing it right now.
But that's other than that, I'm still playing with Partsformer's toys, so I'm getting mixed up on.
Well, you get one more day.
And what's mine?
You get one more day of it.
2.5.
2.5.
Or 1.5.
It is when you conveniently forget things.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh shit. Ultra Magnets is still home.
No, that's the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Like everybody's had their hands on that Ultra Magnus, but Matt so far.
A horror.
He's getting flashbacks from his ex-girlfriend in high school.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Wow.
What did you get, Zero?
I only got a couple things. I'm trying to scale back, and it's going to be that way for a while. I'm probably going to get like the big third-party stuff, and the official masterpiece is basically what's going to be in my budget until we kind of get settled in and ahead on the mortgage. I got a couple things. This guy popped up real cheap on Amazon. And this is, I only need 1 more of the Digimon now. I like how Master Roshi's like giving a no face down there. I only got 1 Digimon left. I got Patamon / Angelmon, but this is Tentamon / Alter Kabuterimon, and he was like one of the main ones on the show. So, I like him. He's a really cool transformation. One of the things I like about this transformation a lot, I know a lot of people probably don't give a flying fuck about Digimon. But he has like all the spots on his back, and when you put him in Tentamon mode, all of these, I don't know if you can see on the camera, these all flip. And I thought that was super, super cool. And he's basically like one big shell former. Like you can see Tentamon in there. And you basically just take Alter Cavitarimon's head, move it forward, you flip this shell around, and you unfold everything. But despite being a shell former, it's really cool in the execution. And he's probably my favorite out of all of the Digivolving Spirits.
That's a lot of Mons.
I know. I'm like one of 3 people that actually like these. I think it's like Vault Matrix, Jobby, and me are the only people I know that actually get excited about this line.
They're very interesting looking, and they're certainly different. It's just, like you said, most of them are shell formers or some like crazy cheat to get it to work.
Yeah, and the thing that's appealing to me is they can make modern day Beast Wars figures. But these are basically, the engineering reminds me so much of Beast Wars.
Especially the Japanese Beast Wars.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then I got something else off of Amazon that was really cheap. That was just kind of an impulse buy. And I realized why I got this. And I couldn't place my finger on like why I wanted it. But this is the movie realization Darth Maul from Bandai, and basically it's kind of a feudal Japanese style Darth Maul, and I realize I like it because he reminds me of Yoshimitsu from Soul Calibur, not Yoshimitsu from Tekken, but the Yoshimitsu from Soul Calibur. And one of the coolest details, if anybody's seen Bobby's review on this guy, I recommend checking it out. But you can see that he has this faceplate that you can remove, and he's got like this, like it looks like he's wearing a wooden carved mask underneath.
Huh.
And it's just a really cool sculpt and really good paint work. I think mine has a paint error because there's some gold paint here, but I don't really mind because it's I'm leaving that mask over him.
If you lean the ab crunch forward too much, does he split in half?
I tried, and I mean, the build on this guy, these are interesting figures because they don't feel anything like Figuarts. They feel more like a DC Collectibles in terms of materials, or a Black Series figure. Like it's that kind of like dense but semi-gummy plastic. It's not like that super rigid plastic that they use on the Figuarts.
It's more like kid-friendly.
Yeah, it definitely is. And
if I had
even
the budget, I'd love a full slew of those.
Honestly, I would love to have the Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers, and just if they did any Sith Lords, to have them like that. But as a one-off, it's a really neat piece.
If they made a Darth Revan, that would be badass.
Is the Darth Vader the one that's got the helmet that's got the giant Death Star looking like silver piece above his forehead?
And it's semi-based on the original artwork for Darth Vader, which is one of the things I like about it.
It's the Kabuto helmet.
Yes. But that's it for me. I have to say, a week later, I still can't put these Siege figures down, especially the Optimus Prime. So
Amazon, right?
No, I got these from the Chosen Prime. So I don't know if he still has them in stock or not. So.
Sponsor of every blasted TFCon around.
Right.
Yeah, they're like $50 on Amazon right now.
Yeah, don't spend the $50. They are. I would say that the Voyagers are the best Voyagers that Hasbro's put out in 10 years.
You'll find them in Target.
Yeah, they're going to show up. They're going to show up, and if Hasbro is smart, they're going to put these out in large numbers because I think that they're going to sell. I think that these things have presence. Like I plan on bringing them this Saturday for you guys to check out. So,
and the thing I wanted to say about your reviews, T, is that you, like you said, everybody and their brother's doing the deluxes. But after I watched yours on the Jets, I did a search, and I think there was only one other dude that I saw that had any of the MicroMasters. So you one of the first to get at least those out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you found those.
I think somebody wasn't doing their job right. They threw the cases on the shelf, and I guess they're like, "Oh, wait, there's no tag. Let me just leave it here."
Yeah.
I just happened to see him sitting there.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's not more Transformer stuff out. Like they're not with the Bumblebee movie coming out, but they're not trying to get all that stuff on the shelves. I mean, if you think about it, we've got what, just a month till the Bumblebee movie starts.
It looks like Target hasn't rearranged their shelves yet. There's no place to put those Siege figures. Where I was.
My Target's expanding their toy section. I don't know about your guys, but they're actually putting out like the Power Wheels cars and Ride On stuff, and they're moving the Lego stuff into like they cut back like the book section, and they're moving
books.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, what are books? Do they still have a CD section?
They have a CD end cap, and it's for CD nuts.
The new release section and the Christmas section all rolled into one, with all the Christmas albums that'll come out now.
Just like when they're getting rid of VHS.
Actually, they have Spotify cards there now. It's like, oh, do you guys have these? No. Spotify subscription and stream.
Kiwi Collector, thank you. I enjoy my vids too. All my vids now go to TMan, so check me out there. I don't think I have the wherewithal right now to start my own channel.
You got one subscriber right there.
Like Stephen Brent's comment, reading is for prisoners, and he's not wrong.
Hey,
you're a prisoner, Dave.
He is. He's a prisoner of his own collection. You can't break free from that Common Rider stuff.
actually, I'm behind. I never finished the last two series, and I haven't even started the new one. I haven't bought a Kamen Rider figure art since Drive. So yeah, I'm free of Kamen Rider.
Oh, well, I take that back. You're a prisoner of Marvel Legends.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. As he's sitting, he's literally, he doesn't have a chair. He's sitting on the unopened cases. He's made a throne of them.
Well, moving on to our discussion.
He just fell over.
They're no longer mint condition. No.
Oh no. Oh no.
What do you guys mean? I don't sound like Vault Matrix.
I do not. I have nothing against the man. I do not sound like Vault Matrix. Okay. Totally different speech pattern.
A little bit.
I'm gonna ask him on Saturday to be a guest on a show, and then I'm just like, if he agrees, I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'm just gonna see if I can tell who's talking or not.
You know what? If he doesn't agree, then we pull out our camera right then and there and just go live. Be like, you know what? Boom! You're on whether you like it or not.
You're on the channel whether you like it or not. We will be going live at the meetup. So yeah,
he has no idea who I am. I guarantee
he will. He will, and then he'll follow you on Instagram.
Real quick, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, there's going to be a DMV meetup this Saturday at noon at Frisco's Tap House in Columbia.
Yes.
So, just to put that out there, because we keep referencing a meetup, and we haven't actually said what that is this episode. So.
If you're part of the DMV Action Figure Society, and if you're not, I highly suggest you join either that or the Syndicate Toys Hunter group. A Toy Hunter group. We do have the meetup details in there. It is at Frisco Tap House, as Matt said. It's not like we're just hanging out in the bar. I actually went ahead and I reserved a room, and it's a room that should comfortably fit about 50 people. And I think right now I've got in the ballpark of I think 36 or more coming.
Is it the same room we're in usually with the fish tank?
Yep, the same room with the fish tanks.
So if you like fish tanks, you're one of those people. We got a fish
tank.
So
if Kevin Womack brings all his toys, there might be a room for the rest of you people.
Right, exactly. Kiwi Collector, I would love to meet up in New Zealand. I would love to go to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, I'd be right there with you.
But, and same thing, Steve Brent says, move the meetup to North Carolina. Well, you and Dave could carpool.
Just saying.
Steve, man, been trying to do it. Talk to James O'Brien.
Yeah, the meetups are a great time. They just keep getting bigger and bigger, and everybody keeps bringing cooler and cooler stuff. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing what everybody has to bring. I look forward to seeing new faces, and I'm
Never get to play with everything.
yeah, that's the thing is T just gets lost in a sea of toys, and we don't really hear from him. And he's just got his camera out, and he's just sitting there methodically playing with things that he's never seen before, or didn't think he'd ever get the opportunity to check out.
I think the
I'm
last
gonna have to review your Optimus and Megatron on the spot.
Okay.
I think the last 2 meetups I've ended up buying something on the spot because of them. So
Somebody's supposed to be bringing toys for me, so I hope I have money.
Jeez. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and all the stuff I'm bringing. I actually purchased it. Yeah, I needed another tote, but I purchased a tote specifically for bringing like the Zeta Bruticus, and I'm bringing Unique Toys Challenger. I'm bringing that Action 66 Mega Man armor. I'm bringing the Digimon that I got. I'm bringing TFCon exclusives. I'm bringing that Darth Maul. I'm bringing the Siege stuff. So I've got a lot of stuff I'm bringing this time too. But normally Kev finds a way to, outdo everybody, and I always look forward to seeing like when he doesn't pull out the stops.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes with the full Iron Man gantry.
Oh God, I bet either him or Jason Lowry, one of the two.
I was going to say, he brought up the Hulkbuster armor that you could fit a child into. I mean, it was ridiculous.
It would fit. It fit other Hot Toys. I remember he had Spider-Man, and was like, "Can you put Spider-Man in the Hulkbuster armor?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, hell yeah!" And he opens it up, and we start putting Spider-Man in there. It was crazy. Speaking of Spider-Man, going her down. We lost one of the greats this week. Stan the Man Lee unfortunately passed away at the age of 95. And it was very, very sad news. I mean, for anybody that's been in any of the comic fandoms, you knew him. You knew his voice. You knew his face. He was a co-creator of a lot of favorite characters. He was a writer at Marvel. He's one of the reasons that Marvel gained its popularity in the 60s and started beating out DC. And a lot of us on this panel are big into Transformers, and it's no secret that Transformers wouldn't be the powerhouse that it is without Marvel. Bob Budiansky wrote a lot of the not Bob, was it Bud or
I'm trusting y'all with some of these names because I don't have a clue.
Yeah, Bud Budiansky. I lost like 15 figure action points. But Marvel was integral in making Transformers the story what it is. And not just Transformers. There are so many other pieces of entertainment that are that kind of owe their existence to Marvel. Todd McFarlane was a big part of Marvel. He made Venom. A lot of our favorite creations exist because Stan and Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko were all guys that made it happen. So we I think we all can say we're really going to miss Stan. We're going to miss what he brought, and I kind of want to take a little bit of time to kind of reflect on what our favorite memories of the guy are and what he means to us.
I liked hearing his voice, which was weird. I don't think he was trying to be like a narrator, but he was naturally gifted for it.
And he always sounded enthusiastic. And that's part of his voice, was that he sound every time, even if it was a cameo or something, like he sounded like he was really into it, like he cared.
Yeah. Natural storyteller.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody watches Robot Chicken, but they're one of my all-time favorite Robot Chicken sketches. And one of my The Simpsons had a really funny thing with Stan Lee. But Robot Chicken had a thing where he was like on Hollywood Tonight or Entertainment Hollywood, and it was like him and Pam Anderson pitching shows. And God, it's just YouTube it. It's hilarious.
Still can't get what was going through his head for Stripperella though.
I think he was just trying to do something different. I mean, the one thing that he did was he brought the unexpected,
Oh, true.
Yeah. And when you had characters that were infallible, like the early versions of Batman and Superman, where they were just wholesome, clean cut, well-off, well-to-do people. You had Spider-Man, Peter Parker worrying about his date and acne and what he was going to wear and dealing with real world problems. And
right. And the same problems that the readers had. It was, this wasn't a billionaire playboy, or it wasn't a reporter for a big newspaper. Like you said, it was a guy that had the kid reading that magazine or the comic book had the same damn problems that Spider-Man was having, and he could relate on every level, Yeah.
We lost T.
So what is your favorite cameo, Stan Lee cameo?
Deadpool's. He's in a lot of cool stuff. Actually, Mallrats was a great one.
Yeah.
Of course, still Spider-Man. One man can make a difference. Enough said. That one's still that still resonates with me.
Yeah, especially now. Yeah.
I like the. I know a lot of people like to hate on the Big Bang Theory, but I like his cameo there too.
True. I think TMan said voice. His voice. I mean, I started off just knowing what Spider-Man was on the old, and if you saw my post on my Facebook page, was the old Electric Company show where they had Spider-Man who didn't say anything. Then, of course, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends came out, which then he did the narration for that, which was pretty freaking awesome.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. I think that's my main memory because I used to love that when I was little.
And then right after he died, I had to find the clip, but on the Fox Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
That's my favorite one. That's what I was going to say.
When Spider-Man took him web slinging.
Yep, and he met him. Yep, he said you're not the Spider-Man that I wrote or came up with or something like that. Yeah, that was awesome. I remembered that right as you were talking. I was going to bring that up. I'm glad you did.
So that was those are probably my favorite moments, whether it be so Mallrats, the Spider-Man movie, narrating Amazing Friends, and the end of the Spider-Man cartoon, which Spider-Man wasn't allowed to punch anybody in.
Right.
I thought it was cool that he was on the Teen Titans Go to the Movies.
Yeah.
Which I still need to see the rest of.
Anybody here actually meet Stan Lee?
I did. It's awesome.
Show
awesome
it again.
2017. I got to meet him. And he does not look enthused. I look so cracked out in that picture, but I was fanboying so hard here because they're like, yeah, you can put your hand on his shoulder. I was like, I can touch him. So like I went up and I was like, I really cracked out. It's the other thing too is I wanted the photo op so bad. My friends that went with me, I included them in it, and they had like no idea that they got to be in the picture with him until I was like, yeah, come on, let's get in line. And they had no idea they were about to get their picture with Stan Lee. And I really love the fact that, not only was, my day made, but I got to surprise my friends with something really cool. But yeah, that was the only time I got to meet him. He was at Baltimore Comic-Con several times, actually. He actually used to be regular there, and I just never got the opportunity to meet him. Actually, Parts, I don't know if your sister-in-law ever told you, but like they ambushed him once.
She did not.
Yeah, they like ambushed him as he was leaving Baltimore Comic-Con, and just they kind of like forced their way into meeting him. So you gotta have her tell you that story.
Yeah, Kara can be she's a little overbearing sometimes. So if you're listening, Kara, I love you, but tone it down a little. Relax.
Yeah. I remember when that happened. I was like, why didn't you guys tell me you were doing this?
We're going to assault Stan Lee.
Come with us.
I love the Simpsons cameo where he was like, he just went into the comic book guy's shop and he never left. And the nerdy kid, I think it's Data, He's like, he talks like this. He's like shopping around for a Batman figure, and the kid, he's like picking it off the shelf, and Stanley's like, "Wouldn't you rather have an exciting action figure?" And he's like, "Oh, only Batman fits in my Batmobile." And he's like, "The thing will fit in anything." And he like takes the thing off the shelf and like crams it in the Batmobile. He's like, "You're breaking it." "No, you broke my Batmobile." And he just says, "Broke it or made it better."
I no longer think Stanley's mental facilities are in mint condition.
I turned into the Hulk once. I swear I did. Of course you did. I love the whole episode. He's putting like Marvel comics on top of DC comics.
Mm-hmm. It's just, as you guys say, I mean, the things he wrote, the things he created, and what that begat, what spun off from his ideas, what inspired other people. If you read the newspaper comic strip that has the Spider-Man, that's done by him and his brother.
Yeah.
He legally changed his name to Stan Lee, but his real name was Stanley Lieberman. So,
I thought it was Lieber.
Lieber, sorry. Lieber. But either way, he lit the Hanukkah candles.
That he did. He was a member of the tribe.
And it speaks to the quality of the characters created too, because after all these years, I mean, decades and so many different iterations, that the characters that over time have evolved. They start to evolve past what he created, but then they seem to always inevitably snap back to some reasonably close semblance of what the original essence of the character was. It's like he nailed he got it right the first time, and they never felt a need to stray too far from it. You know what I mean? And they're all essentially the same characters that he penned exist today. I'm sure there's like 360,000 different Spider-Man and all these different versions, but still the main 616 version is Stan Lee's Spider-Man.
Actually, it still doesn't matter because every version still revolves around the famous 6 words, which will be the most important words of all comic book history. With
That's
great power comes great responsibility.
I was going to say, click the video.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Rai G in the chat. Go ahead.
Most of the characters were just regular people. That was one cool thing to me. Like, that's why Spider-Man was so relatable. Just a normal person with no.
He's turned into a robot.
Just like the X-Men.
He's a pretender.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
You've gone all robot on it.
T, a perfect connection when you were with Baldwin. Perfect.
No, you guys don't understand. He got a bot to replace him while he edits his video.
He's probably uploading it.
You're saying this is a perfect connection with this malfunctioning robot. I got you. All right.
You're just gonna have to come over to my place and just join the podcast live. No. Then you'll just be like going through my collection room, picking shit off the shelf.
It'll be in the background of your video. Just
I'll let you talking while I play with the stuff.
He'd have to spend the night. There's no way he'd stay up later.
There's going to be a guest room, so.
It's not a guest room. It's a TMan room.
Yeah.
It's appointment.
Now, the question is, could I charge him rent if he just got to play with my collection?
You can charge him. He might not pay it.
Yeah, the rent, man. That.
Well, another bill from Zero.
Yeah, I'd be Zero, the room supplier.
Anywho.
Rai G in the chat said his favorite cameo is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when they debunked the Watcher theory, and I actually almost forgot about that. I think that's a great way of, like, what do you guys think that they're going to do moving forward? Do you think that they'll even, they recorded a lot of cameos? They said they were planning for this. I mean, at 95, your time, is very limited.
I think they said they have his Avengers 4 and what's
Spider-Man.
the next Spider-Man. So they have those in the can.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah,
I don't know what they can do. I mean, I'm sure every single movie going forward, he'll be in the credits and it'll be in memory of Stan Lee. But I don't know if they'll be able to put him in as any kind of.
We gotta put him in. I think it would hurt more if he wasn't put in.
I think I'd prefer to see him as like a statue in the background or maybe a painting on a wall somewhere.
Yeah, don't CGI him in something like that.
No.
Yeah.
He was graffiti in one of them. Like, that was his cameo. Was just he was graffiti. I think it was Deadpool 2. But I would really like it if they ended his cameos with the introduction of the Watchers to the core cast of characters, and they took footage of him and then just had him transform into one of the Watchers and then carried on with somebody else.
How about this? You remember when Ledger died and he was in the middle of a movie and they had what was it, Depp?
Yeah.
And a couple other guys came in and they split the role up.
Yeah.
If they had maybe prominent, people that have already been connected with these movies come in and do the Stan Lee cameo in Stan Lee cosplay, be Stan Lee. And put that in there, or just have them walking by. Don't even.
You're basically saying do what they do with the Colonel.
Yes, there you go.
I don't know again if that's awesome or horrible, because I could totally see Matt Damon and Brad Pitt and George Clooney doing that. That's something they would do.
And one of the chat they were saying it'd be cool if Deadpool did the cameo and had a mustache on.
I think it would be cool if they open it up to creators, if they brought in Brian Michael Bendis.
But no one really knows what they look like. Stanley was because he was also the face of the comics. He made the interviews. He was in the TV shows. He was, the caricature. I've met Peter David. I guarantee you none of you would know Peter David if you ran into him across, in the street. I met the guy who wrote Kraven's Last Hunt. Same thing. If I met Frank Miller, I'd probably want to give him $1. But I mean,
there was a time, you got to remember, there was a time when people didn't know who Stan Lee was. And, maybe it would be cool for, Easter egg purposes, and maybe get the audience more engaged with, more modern living comic book writers, to have them do cameos and speaking roles.
Did you watch the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies?
Which
new ones?
No.
The new ones.
No, not the.
Did you know that Peter Laird was in that?
No, I didn't know.
I'm just saying, the creator of the Turtles was in the movie.
Let me tell you how far I got into that is when they started dancing around the Hollaback Girl. I was like, fuck this.
I'm just saying, what I'm just saying is, the problem is there's very few creators. The only other one that people might recognize would be Rob Liefeld, and that was just from that Nike commercial. That's kind of ironic.
Well, I just like the idea of put something in the background, a statue or a picture.
Yeah. Yeah, find a way to put him in graffiti or put him on a TV or use stock footage from
old commercials or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But, it's definitely sad. Now, I will say, as sad as it is, few people lived a life like he did. He had nearly 70 years of marriage with his wife. They were very much in love. They did everything together. He had a great relationship with his daughter, JC. He got to travel the world and meet lots of adoring fans. He's a guy that I don't think anybody really has anything bad to say about. So,
well, because Jack Kirby's dead.
They used to do the Stanley and Jack Kirby stand up on X Play. Did you guys ever see that?
No.
Yeah, Adam Sessler.
Wow, yeah, you're going back.
I know. really, really drawn back. They used to do that where Jack Kirby would bitch about Stan Lee. And Nate Simmer says, yeah, Steve Ditko hated him. Yeah, that was true.
Look up DC Comics Funky Flashman. Funky Flashman. And that was the former Marvel writers creating a character based on Stan Lee. I kid you not.
I believe it. I believe it.
You know, so there's two sides to everybody. There's what we see, there's what we want to see, type of thing. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I know they say don't meet your heroes, but I know that a lot of people that had the honor to meet them, you know, they didn't have anything bad to say. And I mean, that's it's becoming more and more of a rarity. Well, speaking of meeting your heroes, to be completely pretentious, if anybody wants to meet the Figure Action crew, you can do so this Saturday in the DMV area. But no, like what I wanted to have a discussion on is getting a meetup started in your area. It was
Dave.
Yeah, Dave. It was a bit over a year ago when Matt, T, and I started Bees, and I just got a text saying, "No, you didn't." When Matt, T, and I started these, and we, you know, it's one of those things when you're a figure collector, it's something that you really, you know, you're not ashamed of your hobby, but you know, you don't really know too many people that collect. And I started posting. I started posting on Facebook groups. I started posting on TFW. I just really wanted to get, I was kind of riding a high from conventions, and I didn't want it to stop, and I wanted to get something going locally. And so, I started trying to organize something on TFW. Matt caught wind. We started talking back and forth on Twitter. We were reposting stuff on Twitter. We were posting stuff in the Facebook groups, and we got a handful of people to show up. And we went. I believe we took a lot of pictures. We didn't go live for that one, but we started to garner interest. People were looking at the pictures, seeing a shit ton of toys out on the table. Everybody being social, having beers, having fun, having a good time, and I think that really garnered a lot of interest. And the second meetup we had was, a pretty big success. We had a lot of people from the Realm of Collectors group show up. Bobby Stallface was there. And we went live, and we started getting people more and more interested in what we were doing. And to be honest with you, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just having a good time and sharing that experience with my friends.
And we still don't, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we're a little bit organized now. I now have the name of the manager of the tap house, and I email her far in advance saying, hey, this is our date. Can you reserve the room? That way, if we had to reschedule, I make sure that I can promote the meetups in a larger space, be it on this show, be it on making events in the DMV group, making shout outs to the syndicate group, posting it on TFW, and sending out text messages to the people that I have contacts for. Hey, spread the word.
And remember, play with the hot toys first, then eat the wings, not the other way around.
Yeah, exactly. But the cool thing is we're pretty fortunate that everybody is very respectful of what everybody else brings. And people ask, hey, can I mess with this? I tend to put my stuff out and just, hey, have at it. But anybody can do this. I guess the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't take a rocket scientist. If you're in the area, I've had people say, hey, well, I'm in an area where I don't know if anybody would come.
You'd be surprised.
Exactly. Our good buddy Tim K, out in Germany. He last I talked to him, well, it wasn't last I talked to him, but he was toying with the idea of putting out flyers, even to try and arrange something at a bar or a restaurant. You never really know until you, you never know until you put yourself out there. In fact, what inspired me to do the whole bar thing was, if anybody follows 60 on Twitter, he was doing was it 60 or yeah, I think it was 60. And basically he was doing a thing where he was taking toys to bars out in the UK and meeting up with people. And,
oh yeah, he puts out lots of shots of him just sitting there, just at the bar side with the shit laid out in front of him with drinks. I do remember seeing that.
Bots and shots, baby.
Bots and shots. It's not as we don't get as soused as Mr. Adams does. But
I will say, what is that the oversized third party knockoff Megatron from the last movie? You know, that big one.
Rensora.
Yeah, Balt brought his to the last one. I definitely was several sheets to the wind when I transformed that sitting there in the booth. I do remember that. I picked that thing up off the table and transformed it. I had a few, but I had transformed it enough where I was okay with that. Like I handled it well. I set it back down and I walked the hell away. I put my hands in the air. I'm like, I did it. I'm leaving.
Lucas in the chat, he said start a local collectors group on Facebook, and I got to say, that's exactly what Kevin Womack did. Was he founded the DMV Action Figure Society, and that's kind of how we kind of fit pieces together in all of this. And Kevin's been really good in getting this organized and helping us grow. So if you
give a shout out to my Triangle Toy Hunters. Steve ranks in that.
Oh.
That's what we call the area.
Well, if you have a circle of toy hunters, why don't you get something started, Dave?
Because I work on Saturdays.
Why don't you take a Saturday off?
Because I work on. Because I'm in retail. I need to make money.
Excuses.
Excuses.
Yeah, you got to make it happen.
I'm supposed to be on call this Saturday, but I switched everything around to make this work.
Yeah, I talked to a bunch of people that be like, "Oh, I wish I would have been there." Blah blah. I'm like, take the day off. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I tend to give people 3 months notice when I'm getting these arranged. I try to do them quarterly, and people are saying, "Well, when's the next one going to be? When's the next one going to be?" And
B, didn't I just tell you 3 months from now?
Well, it's the thing is, like, I'm trying to tell people now because I do IT. I never know when I'm going to be on call, because if we add or remove staffing or move staffing around, or someone's out on vacation, I may not know, so I have to plan accordingly. And that can get a little, a little tricky, but I tend to make it work. I try to move it around. Like I was on call last weekend to make this weekend happen. And, if you're on the fence about going to, I know that in Virginia, if anybody knows Pig for Life, he actually organizes meetups, and I'm going to try and make it out to one of theirs. MP Collector, I believe he attends them. He's contributor questions to Shattercast. Actually, he might be coming to this one. I invited all them, all the Virginia folks. Of course, we call it a DMV meetup, but people that are in Virginia is a huge state, so I know for a lot of people it can be a big drive to go to a 4-hour long meetup. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is anybody can do it.
So do it.
And if someone asks you to come along to one of these things, just go. Because I can remember when Parts asked if I wanted to come to the first one I went to, and he was explaining what it was. We're at a bar, at a restaurant, and guys are just bringing their toys with them and throwing them on the table, and
he was like, nerds.
And I'm like, in public? People do bullies come by and beat us up? And it was, but it was a lot of fun. I really
says the guy wearing a Starfleet windbreaker.
Yeah, and hey, maybe I'll wear this Sadly.
You know
You
what tipped
should.
me off? What tipped me off about that was our very first meetup when the dude came over to the table and was like uber enthusiastic about it. Remember that? The dude came over to our. We had the long table outside, and the guy came over and just sat down and started. You weren't there, Joe. This was the very first one from before. Dude,
no, I was at the first one I went to was when we were at the long table outside. Maybe it was
that was. Yeah,
this was the second time, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, but it's
Oh my
happened a couple of
God,
times.
that's little toys. I used to have those.
Yeah, dude was super excited about it. Like he just, unapologetically just sat down and started chewing our ear off about it, which was cool. That's what you like to see.
Oh yeah.
But you didn't have these.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's one of the things too, where a lot of people their nostalgia goggles are so thick that they remember what the characters looked like on TV, and back in the 80s and 90s, you took the inaccuracies of the toys and used your imagination to envision the show characters. So it's always interesting when people see like my masterpiece stuff. Like, oh yeah, I used to have that exact one. I'm like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had the waitress come up when we were in White Marsh, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember these toys." I'm like, "Well, you kind of. This is 4 or 5 times more expensive than the ones you're thinking about." But not to be that came off pretentious, but it was still like this is not the Target ones. Like we sunk some money into this.
Yeah.
I just let them flat down. My favorite thing is the people who see my postings and whatnot, and they want to help me out. So they send me pictures of toys they found in the store that are way off, things that I do not collect at all, like Titan Heroes and whatnot. I'm like, oh yay! Thanks for sending me that.
So you're saying if you were nicer, you might be up to 10 by now, 10K.
Probably have 100.
Put some more Funko Pop videos up, and you
exactly.
More Pop tours, yeah.
Gotta have my pops.
You know what?
That's actually true, to be honest.
They would be.
People love Pops.
They love them.
But the cool thing too is we've got some legit friendships out of this. Like I talked to Kevin a lot. Joe and I have become friends here. Yeah. Talk to Matt like pretty much every day, and it's really cool how you get something like this started, and something that starts off as an acquaintance becomes a real friendship. And it's really weird making friends in your 30s, I can tell you that much.
That's true. Like, how are you broken? What's wrong with you?
Right.
Yeah.
All my toys got thrown away when I was little, and my mom never bought me any Transformers. She only got GoBots.
But it will help you feel better about your hobby, because you will meet so many other people that are the same age as you, that are doing the same thing you're doing, and it'll kind of help you if you're like a little bit like me, where you don't really like. I never used to like share what I collected with just like people that I work with or family. They just had no idea. It was just kind of like I had my little shelf set up, and that was it. It was kind of my thing. And the more people you start talking to, and you go to these meetups, and you'll eventually just say, yeah, this is what you talk to people at work, and you might even meet people that you work with or people that you see or daily acquaintances that are collectors.
It's funny. I had that discussion with Bolt Matrix because I used to work in Columbia where he works, and I remember years ago I said to T, I was like, dude, I think I saw Bolt Matrix in my office building, and he's like, did you say anything to him? I was like, what am I supposed to do? Run up to him like, oh my God, you're Bolt Matrix. And it was funny at the last meetup I had that discussion with him. I was like, man, I'm pretty sure I saw you. And he's like, oh yeah, you worked at was 800? I think it was 800 Gateway. And he's like, yep, that more than likely definitely was me. And then he told me a story that like there was a guy they were interviewing, and he was sitting in his cubicle, and the dude like came up and was like, oh my God, you're Bolt Matrix.
That happens to Partsformer all the time.
I get sick of it.
Yeah.
Just leave. I want to live a normal life.
He couldn't ride the teacups at Disney World because he was swarmed by fans.
I wear
That's
disguise.
almost how it went.
You're not a Bitmoji. That's your secret.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like revealing your hobby to people. It's like I remember, it's basically like that meme that we were passing around with the Sebastian Gray. It was like, this is I have unusual desires. Would you like to see my pleasure room? And that's basically what it is. I remember like when Lex and I first started dating, I was like, yeah, so these are my toys and they're not going anywhere.
My wife did not run. That's all I'll say.
You're like, at least not because of those. Not because of the toys.
This is who I am.
Actually, I have to say this is the coolest. I have to say this when after my wife, when she was my girlfriend at the time, finally showed her the hobby room. A couple nights later, one morning, getting ready for work, I hit the shower, come back, the bed's all made. She put Transformers the movie bed sheets on.
Nice.
She bought those for me. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. This is great. And about 2 hours later, I give her a call. I'm like, you just ensured that no other woman will ever want to go near that bed.
That's right.
You are brilliant.
That and the white stain on Springer.
Sorry.
Huh?
He is red, I bet you.
Yeah, he had better things to do that night than that.
Better things to do than get stuff in my eye.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you
The
propose?
Bayverse movie.
Want to see my fourth mode?
That wasn't a rocket that he was loading up in the.
That wasn't. That had no propulsion whatsoever. Well, it did eventually. But anyway, let's move the hell on from that.
I know. Real quick, Lance Park in the chat is insisting that I say his name, and I'm doing so reluctantly.
Lance Park. Why do I know that name?
Oh,
The
no.
guy that we had on and
He started
about
that thing.
store Forgotten Path game.
Oh, right.
Something about where they in Ventura, California.
If the stuff we're saying is bad, everybody shouldn't read Baldwin's comments.
Well, apparently he wants to rub his peener in my hair, and he collects pubes.
Pause.
Other people's pubes, or
That's a good question.
he does take those. He does.
And
take
once
those
again,
salt-
ladies and gentlemen, we just lost any chance of monetization from this episode.
Deluxe, is that why you go to the gym so late? So you can just kind of like go and like scour the shower?
God.
I think he goes in with the tweezers and he's like looking, and he's there's a good one. And then he sits down and takes the picture. Hey, howdy, y'all.
All right.
He's in there rooting around Jeebus. Look at the pulling him out.
Oh God. Okay. Toys. Let's talk about toys.
Well, we got some cool. It's a slow news week, but we got some cool stuff, some cool new stuff to talk about this week. First and foremost, I don't know how to say the correct name of this company. They're a new company. This is their first. I believe it's Zhang Xing, and they're just abbreviated as JX. Thank God. But they have their own Transmetal 2 Megatron to compete with Perfect Effects, and they finally released the prototype pictures. Let me see if I can make myself the full presenter here. I'm doing a screen share, but I don't know if I like this. I know the Perfect Effect is stylized, but there's just, to me, there looks to be something off with this sculpt. I think it just looks a bit too soft, and I just think it lacks a lot of fine detail. Now, again, this is just,
I think it's the
it
mid
looks to be
section. The midsection.
Those hips. Those hips.
Yeah, you're
Those look
right.
like Toy Biz hips.
Yeah.
Now,
And
if they're
their feet are
ratcheted,
huge.
that might be kind of cool. But if they're not ratcheted, then I'm scared.
And the face just doesn't have any personality like Megatron would. I like this flame effect a lot. I don't know if that's included or they're using some, parts. Joe, do you guys recognize this flame effect at all?
No.
No, but I'm thinking like if you wanted a flame effect to go with the one that you've got, you could always get one of those Neca Godzillas, and some of those come with a flame effect very similar to that.
You know what flame effect I used for my perfect effect?
I do not.
I used the one that came with the last night leader class Megatron.
The one that can be both
yeah.
the thruster and what?
Yeah, the thruster and the flamethrower.
Did he come with 2 effects or 1?
Yeah, he came with 2, and the nice part was, well, not the nice part, but the thing that works out for the perfect effect one is that in robot mode he can't use both of the effects pieces. He can only use one. So rather than having that just orphaned, it can be held by that Megatron, and it's a hollow piece of plastic, and it's very easy to like a lot of effects pieces are solid and heavy, and I love that perfect effects piece, but the neck joints, they are not the strongest. So if you put a solid piece in there, it just sag down. Versus that hollow Hasbro piece that does its job, it looks good, and hey, his arm's staying up.
Always good to keep it up.
It is always good to keep it up.
Hail Hollow Hasbro.
Oh boy, that's it for Transformer stuff this week. We haven't seen any new Siege reveals.
Just
we got
I listed down the bottom too the Legend Scale guys that are coming out.
Oh, I see now. The Magic Square. Okay, Magic Square Trailbreaker and Exhaust.
He's not new, but I just wanted to say that I want him. But the Exhaust they showed new pictures of. I think that thing looks pretty badass. It's another design that looks almost like a mini masterpiece. And that's Toy World, right, on the Exhaust? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Toy World, and my brain is rusty, has Toy World offered any other Legend Scale figures?
I think they have.
I thought that was a masterpiece scale. That's a Legend Scale?
Yeah.
That Exhaust that they showed?
Yeah.
I thought it was Legend Scale.
Oh,
It
I
is.
don't. I could be
looks
wrong.
Legend.
Quick to the chat. What do they say? They'll correct us.
They're 3
It
seconds.
looks like a cheap version of the masterpiece. So it better be Legend Scale.
I kind of thought that maybe they just like bought up a whole bunch of KO wheeljacks and redecoed them. And
No, he looks a little bit more simplified.
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was Legend Scale, and I thought it looked damn good. The fact that you can't even tell offhand from the pictures is testament to how well they did on him.
yeah, at a quick glance.
Did y'all see PR's
I'm seeing that
review?
with a lot of Legend Scales lately. Iron Factory, every now and then I have to do a double take and be like, wait, that's Iron Factory? Like their Bruticus, for example.
Yeah.
PL's review of what, T?
The Iron Factory Jazz.
I haven't watched it yet.
Looks amazing. I want it. It has the speakers over his shoulders, like built in.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
Grimlock says in the chat, he says that they actually have a Jazz in development too. And I'm looking now at the Toy World Wheeljack. It looks really good.
Keith, can you post it?
Oh, absolutely.
Quickly.
I'm doing it as fast as I can. So this is an Instagram page. And then we'll go back. Here we go.
But still, that's pretty good.
Can we get
Yeah,
it
I think
all?
that's the
Here we
one
go.
we're
There's
talking
the So
Oh no.
But yeah, they've got color test shots of the exhaust of this mold. Oh, there he was. Well, uncolored, but still.
yeah, there he is there.
Yeah.
Or no, that looks like Wheeljack with the mask off.
It could be. You're right.
That would be. Oh, there's exhaust.
There's exhaust.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like these that looks like the friggin' masterpiece, man. Obviously
the arms.
Yeah, right. But quick glance, I'm impressed. As long as they're not priced ridiculously, I'll grab one.
Speaking of Wheeljack, why does Wheeljack not get any third-party love?
I think because they got the Wheeljack really fast. I mean, he gets representation.
Same reason the Datsuns don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's more different stylizations that we could see of a lot of those characters. That
I got a better question. How come third party can't make us a Trax that doesn't suck?
You know, that is a good question. Why isn't there like a solid Trax? Like,
I mean, that was one that Takara made it. They effed it up. The bar has been set low, gentlemen.
I mean, I own all 3 iterations of that.
Yeah.
Once you figure out how to get it right, it's not that bad. But I think the reason
got 2 of them.
Well, you got Road Rage and Trax.
Yeah.
I got
I
Loud
like
Pedal.
Road Rage more than Trax.
I like Loud Pedal the best. I think it worked out in the most kinks on him.
Yeah, the only reason I say is because that Wheeljack was like Takara perfection, but that Trax, no.
I think they made him so light because they wanted him to have the flight stand capability.
They never did end up selling those on their own, did they?
Not.
Everyone said they were going to.
Yeah, you could.
They were on pre-order. I remember.
You could get them, and the problem with them is that they all had the Autobot Tampo on it. But I mean, you can go into freaking GameStop now and get 3 Tamashii axe stands for $20.
Yeah, or catch them on a Amazon or eBay sale for like 10. It's easy to get them dirt cheap. There's really no need. But and Magic Square, man, they've been on a tear. Like I said, that Trail Raker looks really good. And then Robert D in one of the forums posted or Facebook pages posted that he got the Huffer that just came out.
Yeah, I saw his picture.
And that Huffer looks amazing. Now he's priced at $35, I think, which I think is a bit steep, but it looks good.
Now you're a big Legends guy, Matt. Do you have a favorite company?
I like different companies for different things. Like I've always been a fan of the engineering in a lot of the DX9 guys. Like I know some of them are a little overcomplicated, but I like the build quality of Iron Factory, and the part, the actual materials feels the best in Iron Factory. But then I don't know, man. Overall playability, like that Ultra Magnus that T's holding hostage, is one of my favorite Legends. I mean, if none of these things that I have here next to me on my shelf have a wacky waving mode, and that's really what sends it.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the end of the year because I think we're all going to have some pretty diverse top 10 lists.
Oh yeah, I got to start thinking about that.
But my only real I have that 6-shot that I got off of the raffle. That's Mech Fans Toys, so that's. I don't really count that, but that little Bumblebee, he's my only Legends figure, and I love this figure a lot. I want to see more from that company.
Bring 6-shot.
I'll bring him.
But then I say all that, and especially with engineering and such, with, like I said, DX9. But I gotta tell you, man, like DX9, their quality control, like my Soundwave has stress marks on a lot of the pegs. The Optimus had the really crap hip joint, and then but then Iron Factory just nails it with that Jetfire. It's one of my favorite Legends too. I know T likes it as well. You got that? Yeah, you do got that. Yeah.
I want to see that Nova Prime too.
Oh, I can bring that.
Awesome. But yeah, it astounds me like what they can do with Legends. Like this little Bumblebee, it was it New Age?
Yeah, New Age Flipper.
New Age Flipper. Yeah, it just astounds me like what they can do with the transformation, how they can get it to look right in both modes. And Magic Square, I really wish I had it in the books to collect those. If I know they're doing a full size Prime, but if they do a Legends Prime, that would be a must buy for me.
That's a good thing about Legends, though. You could skip
New Age is doing a Legends Prime.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is another Legends Prime set to come out.
Yeah.
But if you skip like one of your fans' toys releases or something, it's like goddamn like five Legends figures you could get.
Yeah, but the problem with skipping a fans' toys release is they've got you by the balls with supply and demand. Because if you don't get it when it first comes out, they sell out, and then the secondary market shoots up. Like right now, Jetfire is going for like $600.
Oh, but I got a grinder up here that
they reissued.
that was reissued. So.
But that's the thing is, as soon as that reissue sells out, then it goes right back up. So, and then after that reissue, do they do another one? That's the thing is, it's their market is purely speculative. Like they're doing a reissue of Grenadier, or as he likes to call it, Grenadier. But they're only doing the purple one. They're not doing the gray one. So. What's up with that? And then of course their prices get all jacked up. I mean, I still think knowing people in groups definitely helps, but they're kind of taking the Takara route. I mean, Bobby's interview with 215, the hung of 215 was really eye opening because they're totally taking advantage of the price. They see what people are willing to pay with Takara, and they're doing the same themselves. And
then Takara sees what their people are willing to pay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lance wanted to point out that Commodus, he's still out there somewhere in the ether. Wanted to make sure that Jordan knew that.
Well, Lance, I got this for you. Merry Christmas. But that's another one too. Where I think MMC is another company like that. Where if you don't hop on a release, there's a potential that it may be really hard to get. I don't doubt that they reissued Carnifex, they reissued Spartan. MMC I think is a company where they know if there's demand for it, they'll put it back out there.
Everybody better buy Rouge.
Why is that?
Before she disappears.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I couldn't believe that Toy Dojo's birthday sale. They had her for $60. It was like
must not be selling at all.
66. No, I mean, I think she's selling. I think just there are a lot of people that saw that the transformation was nightmarish and didn't want anything to do with it. To be honest, like I enjoy having Zayla, even if it's a repaint. So I can mess around with have an RC that's fun to transform, even if it's not the right colors.
Yeah, my Rouge gets looser and looser every time I look at it.
Not even touching that line.
Wait, are you talking about mine?
Oh no.
Okay.
Yours I transformed, put it back in the box, and I haven't touched it.
I've transformed a Zayla like 16 times, and it's just as nice as it was out of the box. So I don't think you have anything to fear.
I mean, I fear lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Her ankle felt a little bit loose, to be honest.
Yeah. Grimlock in the chat said he is not sleeping on MMC's Nickel and Deathsaurus. I don't want to sleep on the DJD stuff either, but they've been really, really good about making sure that they get reissued every time there's a new member released.
Yeah, Tarn was issued had three releases, the initial and then 2 more runs.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Voss has had like 4 reissues now.
Yeah, but I never picked him up though because I was scared.
I got the 4th release, and mine's been okay.
Okay.
Mine's falling apart.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was all the Transformers stuff we had in the news.
Moving right along, we got a Rebel Tech release that I think
Rebel Tech.
I think a lot of people are excited about. Get it pulled back up. I hate when I close out the group topics. So
Did we just talk about this already?
Not yet.
No, it was revealed this week.
Yeah, it's the it's not an MCU armor like we initially thought from the blurry pictures. It's actually the leading edge armor.
You can just hear the Marvel vs. Capcom sound effects coming from that figure.
Absolutely.
especially Gambit even more. Ugh.
I
I
cannot
wonder-
wait for that Gambit.
I wonder how many people are going to build a display like that, where they're going to have, like the Sentinel Mega Man and Mega Man X, and
If I had it, I would totally be doing it with my Street Fighter figures. If I could set it up properly.
so yeah. Here we've got the Bleeding Edge Revoltech Iron Man, and I think this looks really good. These are some really cool effects pieces. It looks like they just connect in through ball posts. Interesting. They put oh, nope, they don't have Disney on there. But yeah, that's the only shot they have of him. But yeah, it's very evocative of a screen from Marvel vs. Capcom.
What's nice, I don't know if you guys have handled the Revoltech figures, but they are actually amazingly light. And so when I see that pose, and I know it's going to be able, you can put it on the stand with him, like in a midair pose, blasting, in that blast effect, and the holes in his back, everything will hold up beautifully in that pose. So,
I mean, my only experience is the creepy Woody figure I have. I kind of want Buzz. Anybody wants to give me Buzz Lightyear for Christmas?
you need more in life than handling your creepy Woody. Okay.
Hey, no, I don't. He's got posable eyes, and there's a snake in his boots.
You should at least get what's her name, Julie Hopps.
Judy Hopps? Nah.
Yeah.
No, that's like the ultimate like in
That Winnie the Pooh looks kind of good. That Winnie the Pooh looks pretty cool.
It does.
Yeah, that one does. I agree.
He's very expressive.
I have been doing all the Marvel ones. I still haven't got my hands on Batman yet, but I've done all the Marvel figures, and I've got blind faith in this line. They put something out, I want to get it, and I'll have it, and I know I'm going to enjoy it. And it just has been getting continually better and better with each release on hiding the Revoltech joints, giving the proper poses. I mean, this Iron Man is going to be absolutely one of the best Iron Man figures out.
So we got another high-end Marvel reveal. We've got a Mafex Miles Morales Spider-Man. I don't know what to think of this one, to be honest with you.
They put it in such a boring pose.
Yeah, it's just I think
and the black background doesn't help either.
I think the shoulders are a little too square, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it looks like animated Batman instead of Spider-Man.
Like, I like the paint on the costume. I think it should be like a darker red. And I don't think that's a camera trick, because you see him right there next to Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
I always think about Miles being like a even more slender character than Peter Parker. So there's like that Batman physique kind of messes with it. I think the Space Venom Marvel Legends figure had a better sculpt, and in all honesty, except for the face.
Looking at their new Venom that they're coming up with, I think they're going with a more simplified sculpt. I don't know why, but it looks kind of boring to me. Yeah. It doesn't look like a high-end action figure.
And we've been so used to seeing the tentacled up Venom for so long in all these figures that when you got a more basic looking McFarlane style Venom, it's just different. It's just a different looking figure, different approach.
I think that thing's going to come with a lot more effects than that they've shown us, though, because the Spider-Man's coming out with a ton of webs.
Yeah, but I mean, Miles is also supposed to be a short character too. And looking at this, I guess you can't really see Spider-Man in this picture here, but it looks like it's just a repaint.
That display is really not doing that figure justice. Is that a Black Panther head right next to him?
Below it, that looks like Infinity War Black Panther. But if you look in this picture here, you can see like the thigh and the calf. This looks like it's just a straight up repaint of the Spider-Man, which Kind of
I
sucks.
don't see Mafex being that. I don't see them pulling that off. I don't know why. There's got to be more to this figure. I'm not counting it as a write-off just yet. It just needs a proper poser.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Mafex, if you're listening, send me a copy. I'll take the proper pictures. Mediacom, sorry, Mediacom.
So, outside of Marvel stuff, as we get into the more obscure reveals for the week, that being Neca and the likes, we've got. I don't think this has ever been tackled in action figure form before, but this is really obscure. I know we got a lot of gamers in the audience. If you've ever played the shoot 'em up R-Type, you're probably gonna be familiar with this. This is one of the main baddies from R-Type. It's from Figma, and this is the Dobkeratops from a lot of the.
What the hell is that thing?
I have no idea what that is.
If you've ever played R-Type, R-Type's a side-scrolling shooter. This is like one of the main aliens, and I think this is something I would never get, but I love the fact that it comes with the little spaceship. The alien is articulated. If I were gifted this, I would totally put it on my video game shelf. Hint, hint, wink, wink. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that Figma is doing something kind of this obscure.
This brings two
Someone's got to be
two thoughts. One, this is Figma, right? So how the hell much is that going to cost? And two, if they can do this, where is my mother brain?
Right? Right?
That needs to be a thing. I mean,
yes.
Got that Samus. I'm just saying, y'all.
Well, we got
somebody.
We got Metroid Prime 4 coming out, and spoiler alert to anybody that's played Metroid Prime 3, you fight a mother brain in Metroid Prime 3. So, I want to know where Ridley is.
That'd be another good one.
It'd be
probably
cool.
Do Dark Samus first.
Yeah, Dark Samus would make a lot of sense.
But for Ridley, though, you have an amiibo coming out. You could put right next to your Figma.
Yeah, the amiibo's gonna be that big.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
If they made him the same size as Detective Pikachu, then maybe. Like Detective Pikachu's obscenely big.
You just have to have Ridley right here on this shelf in front of you, and then you have to have Samus way the hell over on the other side of the room, and just take that perspective shot like that. You're good to go. That's the best I can do for you.
I gotta say, now that I've seen the Detective Pikachu trailer, I'm glad that I have that amiibo. Granted, I mean he's different, but
that amiibo disappeared quick.
It did. All amiibos seem to disappear quick because it's like Toys to Life has turned into such a niche, and unfortunately,
I am still conflicted on the Detective Pikachu trailer.
Do we want to talk about that real quick?
Yes.
Starscreamer, what has you so conflicted about it?
I guess just because, again, hearing Ryan Reynolds' voice come out of it. But, I mean, visually, it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's like the Pokemon and Blade Runner combined for the city. Yeah. And I have never been a Pokemon fan, but it's like I can't tell, are they trying to do a kids movie or they're trying to do a grim and gritty movie set in a kids setting.
I think they're trying to make...
Because that Mr. Mime does that whole thing of telling Pikachu to shove it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
I think they're making a movie that appeals to everybody. I think they're Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I'm trying to turn a movie into a verb, but they're taking that Who Framed Roger Rabbit approach.
That's what I'm saying, because that movie pushed some boundaries, man. As I got older, I'm like, that's what they meant. Oh.
Well, I think it's going to be like Roger Rabbit without the cursing and sex.
Oh. Oh. Now you just took all the fun out of it.
Well, I mean, would you let your daughter watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Well, yeah, because the whole thing was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There was enough slapstick for no one to notice what the heck they were saying.
I think that's a lost art in movies today. It's like it seems like things have to be like one way or another. And I think Shrek was like one of the last movies that, you know, it had a lot of innuendo, but it did a good job of hiding it in ways where the adults had something that entertained them and made them laugh, and the kids were laughing at something else. And then as you grow up with the movie, you can laugh at it as a whole. It's, you know, I'm not going to try, you know, I don't want to be labeled as like a huge Shrek fan, because Shrek is a good movie. It's not one of my favorites, but what always stuck out to me was the lines like, ogres are like onions, we have layers. And, you know, it resonated to like the way the movie worked.
Oh yeah, but I also want to say though, I'm very impressed how they handled the whole, well, frankly, the language barrier.
Yes,
they made it not stupid. It's like that, and then they do the whole thing of, yeah, she can't understand what I'm saying. I mean, like that,
right? And it's
that
the singular
like
Pikachu voice. Yeah,
I just wonder, did they choose the right, you know, actor in Ryan Reynolds? Like, should it be so much of a departure from Pika Pika, like drastically different? Like have Morgan Freeman or something like that. Like
well,
something
in a
that's
way,
so crazy.
I love that idea, because since we have no idea what the heck they sound like, but then they just sound like normal people, if you could actually understand what the heck they're saying.
In a video game, he has a gruff voice.
Yeah.
Closer to Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Danny DeVito type voice.
There's a dub going around with all the scenes dubbed over with Danny DeVito quips.
And there's also the Alex Jones one. And then the room goes silent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cool World, that's another one. Cool World.
People keep forgetting Brad Pitt's in that movie.
Yeah, and Kim Basinger.
Well, she was the cover, but it was Brad Pitt who was the cover.
Yeah. I think they took the right approach to the way they did the Pokemon too, because you can't. I think everybody and their brother here has seen the hyper realistic pictures that go around on Facebook every few months of the Pokemon, and now most of them end up coming off creepy as shit, because they would be. But this movie seems to, like, they know that, and they go just cartoony enough where it's not creepy, but just real life enough where it's believable with the humans. And I don't know, like, it looks odd, granted, but I think it strikes a good balance, and I think it'll work long term for the movie.
I was creeped out a little bit. That's one of the. I was happy to see the trailer, and I was like interested, but I was kind of creeped out at the same time.
You know,
I hope it does well. I do hope it does well.
I think it will do well.
Because imagine that kind of technology being used for a Metroid movie.
Right? I think that the appeal is there. They actually hired the artist who did the hyper-realistic Pokemon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. It's the same guy. And I think it's really cool that Nintendo gave him a job. I mean, obviously they had to, you know, make him tone the designs down, but I love how faithful the designs are without being, you know, a departure, but not looking out. You know, they're instantly identifiable.
Pokemon isn't Nintendo.
Okay, the Pokemon company. You're not gonna see Pokemon on PlayStation or Xbox
yet.
Yeah, they're still not going to consider it a Nintendo movie. That's why they're not hyping it up, really. Besides the re-release of the Pikachu amiibo that I've seen.
Yeah.
But then they got the Pokemon Let's Go coming out, and Pokemon Go is still a big thing. So, I mean, they're not going to be hurting for it either. So,
the Mario movie is going to be with Illumination.
Yay, the same people that are doing the awesome Grinch movie.
Yeah.
They don't get John Leguizamo to do a voice cameo in that, I'm out of here.
They might see the standees that they have for the Grinch movie, where it just says green and salty, just like my nuts.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't believe that's real.
It's real. I think that's hilarious.
But that's, you know, we'll wait and see. That was one of those trailers that I can honestly say I did not give a shit about the movie. I mean, I love Pokemon, but I'm like, this is going to bomb. It's a horrible idea. And that's one of those trailers that turned me around that I'm waiting to see more, but I am willing now to spend the money and go see it. Maybe I'm right there on the precipice. You know,
it's a movie you could take your son to as well. I mean, I think it's you know, that's the cool thing is that it really appeals to a general audience. You know.
Yeah, and with Pikachu is almost as recognizable now as like Mickey Mouse. I mean, it's ballpark.
Pika.
Never do that again.
Yes, that was my thought too. Or that, or.
But anywho, what else do we have?
So, more, NECA just keeps rolling along with their horror stuff, and I gotta say, I love this. I really do. They're doing a 2-pack of Chucky and Tiffany from Bride of Chucky, and I got to go through this because they just kind of killed it with the accessories.
Ha! See what you did there.
Right?
Why those are not in the way they're not releasing those in the quarter scale line, I will never know. Or in this case, that'd probably be more 1-to-1 scale. But,
if they did that,
you would need that for your house. You would need that for your house.
Yeah, for Chucky, this kind of is quarter scale, isn't it?
No, these are like 4-inch figures, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, for a Chucky doll that's this big, wouldn't that?
I know. So I'm saying they need to do those in that 1-to-1 scale. That would sell.
Soft goods.
But people would be creeped out with those in the house.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what they're there for.
So quick story. My mom was freaked out by my buddy doll that I had when I was a kid, and she got rid of it after this movie came out. She took it away and got rid of the thing.
Is that why
what happened to my buddy?
Yes.
Like, he even comes with different stages of his hair being like messed up.
I wonder, is this releasing coinciding with the reboot, or is the reboot still a long ways off?
I think it's a ways off. Like, Tiffany even comes with her, the Tiffany, what was I forgot the name of the doll she was.
No idea.
Yeah.
Do you see that we're doing Leprechaun?
It's not even a redo. It's a soft reboot with no Jennifer Aniston.
No. But I heard in the Chucky reboot that's coming that he's going to be like a robot. It's going to be
like a
robot. Yeah, it's going to be like an AI gone wild or something like that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I think that the whole concept behind it, even though the voodoo stuff was kind of crazy, like the whole fact that he started to bleed, and the longer he was in the body, the more human it became, and I thought that was really cool. Grimlock in the chat says Jennifer Tilly. Yeah, that's she definitely was. She definitely made Bride of Chucky the enjoyable movie it was, and Seed of Chucky was also really, really entertaining. Next up on NECA news, and NECA continues to milk one of their video game figures, the Scuba Crash Bandicoot. I just had that and I lost it. There we go. But I know they're doing Spyro. I don't know. I don't know the appeal of all these different flavors of Crash Bandicoot. I think just having one Crash is kind of enough.
Because they can reuse the parts.
I know.
And somebody's going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this Crash Bandicoot and think, man, I really hate underwater levels.
I looked at Crash Bandicoot, and I know TMan's going to buy it.
No. I already got the one. I'm good.
You're going to buy this one.
He hasn't bought the jetpack one yet.
You
know what I would buy if they did Banjo-Kazooie?
I
would buy that.
Beg Microsoft.
Microsoft has the license. They could do it. One last NECA figure. And I think that kind of wraps up our news. This one actually, this one has me excited because I don't own any of these yet, and it looks like they're going to be designed for army building, but they are throwback figures to the Kenner Terminators with light piped eyes.
Hmm.
And they're kind of going around. I now I have no interest in the toy throwbacks, like the T800.
Why did the T1000 have on a diaper?
I don't think it's a diaper. I think it's just the fact that they used like soft goods for the crotch piece, and it just doesn't look right. But these,
God, I can't think of a joke. Soft goods on your crotch piece, and I can't think of a fucking. Damn, it's late, and I gotta work tomorrow, and god damn it.
that should be an episode title: soft goods on your crotch piece.
There you go. What scale are these in?
They're 1/12 scale. It's your regular NECA size, but I think it's pretty cool that they're doing them with the light pipe guys. I'd pick one of them because I had that T800 when I was a kid, and I never got the alien throwback figures, even though I had all of those Kenner aliens when I was a kid. I think that would be a good discussion topic. Is what were some of your favorite lines as a kid? Like, what did you collect? And
Sure.
I didn't. That's why I'm overcompensating.
well, at the same time, I'd like to know like what the other kids had that like you were jealous of. Like, what did you enjoy playing with? That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
My buddy.
My buddy, that was the thing. He had a killer doll. There's a killer doll in the Letwek residence.
Yeah.
One day, all your Kamen Rider stuff's going to come to life.
And on that note,
I think we should call it.
There's one more news piece. I just want you to click the link real quick.
No.
Talk about that.
Which one?
At the bottom, the McFarlane Game of Thrones figures.
Oh, you put that in there. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll talk about that one real quick.
It's just, I don't even really care about the human characters. I just want to link to this Visceron, the dragon.
Let's get it up here.
There you go.
I got it. Huh.
That first picture blew me away, and I was convinced that this was before. All I saw was the picture, and I thought, well, that's going to be like a $200 statue that I'm never going to afford. Not correct. This is a McFarlane 10. It's got 10 points of articulation, so it does articulate, and it's $25.
Huh.
That's good.
That picture right there sold me on the pre-order for that.
how big is it?
It's probably not that big, but that's good for me because I don't have a lot of shelf space. So
how'd that scale with a monster art?
Well, the wingspan says 16.5 inches wide, so
that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
The dragons in Game of Thrones are big, but Visceron is one of the smaller ones, so it doesn't even have to be gigantic size. If it was Drogon, the biggest dragon, because I love Game of Thrones, then he would have to be a massive, like almost twice the size figure. But this is the one that got turned. Well, spoilers for the newest season. If you're already seeing this, there's things that happen to the dragon that make him blue. So
let's say wingspan's probably like that, so it's probably a decent sized figure.
Yeah.
The question is, are they gonna, if they make it out of vinyl? If they use like vinyl and plastic, that's probably how they'll get away with it.
Confession, I have never watched any Game of Thrones.
What? All right. Let me tell you.
I read the books. I read all the books. And now I'm currently stuck waiting to find out what George R. R. Martin wants to do with Jon Snow. And after what I've been reading, I'm still going to be waiting.
So I got into Game of Thrones in 2014, and I binged 4 seasons in a matter of 3 weeks. The best advice I have is just get through the first season, and about midway through the second season. Seasons are short, but it will click with you, and you will be like, okay, this is really good.
You'll see what everybody hypes about.
Well, as I said, I've read the book, so I know it's good. So
Yeah. It's funny. There's so many shows out there where the first couple of episodes didn't grab me. The Haunting on Hill House was one of
Love
those.
that show.
I loved it towards the end. The first 2 episodes was like, eh. The third episode, we binged it. We binged it all in one day.
Worth it. Totally.
Absolutely. No spoilers, but when you find out what the bent neck lady actually is, man.
My wife is watching it. I'll let her know.
I didn't think it was scary though.
It creeped me the fuck out. It did creep me out. I will say I wasn't like jump scared because they do have jump scares in it, but it's not bad. It's more of a psychological thing. It's more like an uneasy, uneven like dread.
Netflix.
It's Netflix. Yeah, it's a 10 episode miniseries on Netflix.
I gotta remember what movie it is, but I saw a movie trailer where I guess it was a possession type movie with a little boy. I saw the jump scare coming, but it still scared me anyway. I gotta figure out what the name of that movie is.
But I think that did it. That wrapped it up.
I told Kevin Yell to bring it this year's haul, and he's going to need a tractor trailer.
What was that?
I said I told Kevin Yell told me to tell him to bring this year's haul.
Oh God! I can just see him like coming into the venue with a mech suit on or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, like what the hell is this? And you see like steam and fog coming out of it, and you just like
he'll be like, I forgot I had this.
You know, the cockpit just opens up. It's like, what's up, homie?
As he's flying around.
Hey, TMan.
Found this in the basement.
Oh God! I still need to get over to his place and see the never-ending supply of toys. On that note, I think that wraps us up as Parts said.
We made it this time.
We did. We do. All right. So let's go down the line. True Star Screamer, where can folks find you at?
Not on camera tonight because for some reason my phone's gone messed up, but you can always find me on Instagram where
he's naked.
This week I had some great phototherapy, so I did a little binge drop last night. So at True Star Screamer on Xbox, not Xbox, on PlayStation Network at True Star Screamer on every Thursday, except next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, folks. Here on the Figure Action Podcast and on the Facebooks at being David Lutwack, who I am.
Partsformer, where can everybody find you at?
I am Partsformer on all the things. You'll probably see me. I'm not naked. Well, I mean, under the clothes I am. But I will be playing on Xbox One some Red Dead, but I don't actually currently have a gold subscription, so I got to, get to that.
He plays naked.
I do. But Twitter, Instagram, it's all Partsformer, and you can find me here. You should find me here. And sometimes you can see me sneaking onto TMan's channel.
Right on. Right on. And of course, everybody can see you in the DMV area at the meetup this weekend. Joe Crab, where can people find you at?
Well, like Partsformer, they will be able to find me on the Xbox. I'll be the guy riding the horse next to Partsformer on Red Dead Redemption 2. I think I've given out like maybe 2 or 3 different Xbox tags names for myself over the last 3 weeks. I really don't know what it is, but once I get my gold renewed, I'll remember. And I'm on Instagram, JoeFigure83, and in Facebook, Joe Crab.
We're gonna just go online. I don't even know that the online component's up yet, to be honest with you.
Next month.
Next month, there you go. We got to just go online and I think it has YouTube or Twitch components built in. We should get that going and link it to YouTube.
Definitely.
Everybody knows where to find TMan 978, but just in case you don't,
you can find me right here on YouTube and right here on Figure Action every Thursday. And come look up TMan 978, TMan 978 Chill Reviews and More on Facebook page. Chat with me there so I don't have so many strangers. There's so many new strangers that have just liked my page. I appreciate you guys, you strangers, but it would be nice if some people that actually have been following me for a while could come follow me there. Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, blah blah blah. TMan 978.
Pornhub.
Tinder.
Pornhub.
You ought to put a review up on Pornhub and just see what happens. I want to see the comment section. Like, when's this guy going to stop playing with Transformers and whip it out?
Yeah. I'm like, she's dry.
Zero, where can we find you?
As for me, and Achilles Pun in the chat says he will see us at the meetup, and he got the Fantastic Four thing for you. As for me, you can find me here each and every Friday night. Not Thursday night.
Thursday.
Damn it. I'm already fucking it up.
Not next Thursday.
You can find not yet, and that's the thing too. Next Thursday is the Thanksgiving holiday, so as I should have said at the beginning of the show, I should have reminded people to hit that like button if you like what we're doing. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get our videos on a regular basis, and hit that notification bell if you want to see when we're posting content. There will be more content, more bonus content. I just apologize. I've been incredibly busy with this house situation. But you can find me here each and every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Pacific after the Thanksgiving holiday. You can find me on Instagram as ExtraZero. You can find me on Twitter as the Original Zero. You can find me on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live as ExtraZero. There's a space in the Xbox one, so it's Extra Space Zero. All one word on PlayStation. And, of course, you can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. And we just want to thank everybody who participated in the live chat tonight, who watched us, who's listening to us on Podbean, on iTunes, and Google Play. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. We love you, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Happy
Peace out.
Thanksgiving, y'all.
Happy
Later.
Thanksgiving.
I am thankful for every one of y'all.
See you guys.
Great.